excited to be here today as we announce a critical part of Mayor Smiley's plan for a brighter future in Providence. One of the reasons I was so excited to become a Director of Economic Development for the City of Providence is because I have experienced firsthand the city's incredible culture and potential for growth. I have been visiting Providence regularly before I took this job, experiencing its incredible culinary scene, enjoying the unique arts that will be on full display during PVD Fest, and interacting with its world-class universities. And once I got to know this administration, I knew I wanted to be part of this incredible team, which is going to take our community to the next level. The plan we are announcing today is a crucial step forward in how we craft Providence into the world-renowned city we know it can be. Now, I am honored to introduce Mayor Brett Smiley for his initial remarks.
Thank you, Cassandra. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with our incredible City Council President, Rachel Miller. You'll hear in a moment from our Planning and Development Director, Joe Mulligan, and of course, Michael Gazdacko, who's the Chairman of the City's Plan Commission. I want to thank Michael and all the members of the CPC. These are volunteer board positions that require a lot of time and energy, and we're grateful for the residents of Providence who volunteer their time to help make this commission and all of our boards and commissions work well. Residents, business owners, and visitors have hopefully heard loud and clear the optimism that I have for the future of Providence. I truly believe that we have the incredible potential over the next decade to grow, but to grow in the right ways and to become a real world-class city. And I feel incredibly fortunate to be mayor at a time that the city is going through its once-in-a-decade comprehensive plan review and renewal. I'm sure the council president feels the same way, because this is our opportunity to chart the path for the decade ahead. We know that we are already strategically located on one of the most powerful economic corridors in the country. We know that we have natural strengths in growing sectors, including the blue and green economies, in healthcare and in design. And we know that we have anchor institutions that are ready to grow, and we want to make sure that they grow the right way, supporting the medical field, the institutions, the artists, and the leaders of these sectors to spin off into real, productive, high-wage, high-skilled jobs accessible to all of our residents. The thing that we know that's probably most important is that we've got the right people in place to facilitate this growth. From incredibly talented and dedicated public servants like Joe and Cassandra, the other members of my administration, the diligent, hardworking city council people who are in touch with their neighborhoods, and together we are going to guide a strategic plan to grow our city. So what we are kicking off today is that we are starting that planning process. We're going to be asking hard questions during this process. We'll be asking, how do we make Providence climate resilient? How can we make it easier to build housing as we face a housing crisis across all price points, both in the near term and in the long term? And how should our transportation system adapt to meet the needs of a growing community? Providence community members will be asked to weigh in on these along the way. Council President Miller and her colleagues on the City Council will help facilitate neighborhood conversations to make sure that this process is accessible and to ensure that no voice goes unheard. I want to take a moment to emphasize that this is a visioning process. That means that by January 2025, we will have a framework that guides the many ways in which Providence may grow. If anyone wants to learn more and get involved in the process, we welcome you to join us for our first open house for the PVD Comp Plan, which is taking place on Thursday, June 22nd at the Providence Career and Technical Academy at 42 Fricker Street. This open house will start at 6 p.m. and anyone can come and learn more about the different areas that the comp plan will touch on. You'll have a chance to provide your feedback and hear from us about what the rest of this planning process will look like and how you can contribute to shaping the vision for the city for the next decade ahead. If you can't join us, please visit plan.providenceri.gov, where we'll be hosting both digital engagement opportunities and posting other in-person opportunities in the year to come. Again, I want to thank the members of the Providence Planning and Development Department, in addition to Joe Mulligan, Deputy Director Bob Azar, the City Council for your partnership. And I'm so excited to be starting this process because this, most importantly, is about all of you. It's about the people of Providence, the business owners of Providence, and everyone who comes to enjoy our fabulous capital city. I'll now turn it back over to the Economic Development Director, Cassandra Thomas.
Thank you, Mayor. As Mayor Smiley noted, this is a once-a-decade opportunity before us where we will convene diverse perspectives to identify policies and practices that reflect our community and support our long-term goals. I want to reiterate that when complete, this is a document that will help guide growth and innovation in Providence instead of defining it. And if we do this correctly, the plan will be reflective of the many voices that make up this community, which is why our partnership with the City Council is so important. So I will now turn it over to Council President Rachel Miller for some brief remarks. Rachel?
Thank you so much, Director Thomas and Director Mulligan, Mayor, Chairman Gazdacko. I am so excited to stand here today with city leaders to send out an open invitation to all residents, everyone who lives and works in the city of Providence, to participate in this once-in-a-decade opportunity to set the course for Providence's future. Many people, no one standing here with me, but many people, when we talk about zoning, when we talk about land use, their eyes might glaze over. I'm here to share that the comprehensive plan is vitally relevant to Providence's future, right? It impacts how our city looks and how it feels, how we're expanding opportunity, how we're growing, and who we're expanding that opportunity to. It sets the course on a slew of tangible issues that impact how we live and work in the city, from climate resiliency to tackling affordability to charting a path for equitable economic growth. So over the next several months, the City Council will be coming to a neighborhood near you together with leaders from the Planning Department to bring this conversation right into our neighborhoods, to talk about issues that have impacted us and how we live and how we want to see it grow. Again, I can't say enough. This process cannot happen without the full participation of our residents, of our neighbors, of our anchor institutions, and we are thrilled to be a partner in this. So thank you all.
Thank you, Council President Miller. I again want to say thank you for your commitment to being a partner in this work. While other communities organize a few community meetings or ask for feedback online as the extent of their engagement, we are pleased to be working with the City Council to identify as many opportunities as possible for listening sessions in our neighborhoods. I'm also proud to say that we have some of the best and brightest minds in the Planning Department, spearheaded by Director Joe Mulligan, who will now share some remarks.
Thank you, Director Thomas. And to elaborate on some of the comments by the Mayor and the Council President, just talk a bit about some of the mechanics of the upcoming comprehensive plan, which is a roadmap policy document that guides Providence's growth and development. The state of Rhode Island has a system of land use planning, and they set broad goals and policies through the state guide plan. What we have the opportunity to do as municipalities is express our local desires and conditions the development of community comprehensive plans. The local comprehensive plans are reviewed by the state and, when approved, become binding. As the foundation of our land use and zoning code, the Providence Comprehensive Plan guides where and how we grow, what uses are allowed, where and at what densities, through what urban form, and what amenities. Comprehensive plans serve several purposes. They are the primary land use regulation planning document guiding conservation and development of each city and town. They serve to address the needs and desires of residents for various services provided by the municipality. The goals of the comprehensive plan across topics like housing, mobility, and sustainability also guide the city's planning initiatives and strategic investments. It's a living vision statement that guides the day-to-day work of our planning staff, many of whom have joined us here today, who embark on additional planning projects with community members to implement the goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan. They also serve as means for coordinating planning between state and municipal governments. Every new development that comes before the City Plan Commission must align with the goals of the comprehensive plan. Providence's previous comprehensive plan encouraged growth in downtown, post-industrial transitional areas, and on neighborhood corridors, leading to the ongoing revitalization of areas like the Woonsocket Valley Corridor and the I-195 land, as well as new mixed-use developments on Broad and Westminster Streets. The goals of the 2014 Comprehensive Plan led to Providence's Comprehensive Housing Plan and the establishment of Providence's first Affordable Housing Trust. Goals like providing safe transportation options citywide led to the creation of Great Streets Plan, which has fundamentally changed how we think about and plan Providence's streets and the many ways in which they are used. Last year, the city undertook a series of community listening events and surveyed members of the community what their thoughts and impressions were of Providence and what priorities the city should focus upon. Today, we are pleased to report that this administration is preparing to launch the next phase of in-depth citywide community engagement meetings and planning exercises. This plan represents a collaborative effort driven by commitment and dedication of numerous stakeholders to build a more vibrant, inclusive, and sustainable city for all. In order to realize the comprehensive plan and our city's fullest potential, we need everyone on board. Providence's neighborhoods are full of energy, creativity, and opportunity, and we need your diverse perspectives to inform this roadmap for the city's future. The Providence Comprehensive Plan community engagement process will aim to value longtime city stakeholders while also engaging new voices who may not have participated in planning processes in the past. We want an engagement approach that prioritizes accessibility and inclusion, which will be a key to understanding where there are opportunities for improvement and acknowledging what hasn't worked in the past. Providence has always been a city of resilience and innovation, from its rich history and cultural heritage to its world-class institutions and thriving art scene. Our city has long been a beacon of progress. However, we recognize that the challenges we face in the 21st century require a thoughtful and strategic approach to ensure a prosperous and equitable future. Today, we launch a comprehensive plan process that aims to address the pressing issues that confront us while capitalizing on our strengths and opportunities. This plan encompasses a wide range of initiatives aimed at transforming Providence into a city that not only thrives economically, but also fosters a high quality of life for all its residents. We hope to see you at neighborhood events across Providence this summer and fall, but please mark your calendar for the Providence Comprehensive Plan Open House Kickoff, as the Mayor mentioned, at the Career and Technical Academy on June 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. I invite all of you to join us on this transformative path as we embark on this ambitious journey. Let us work hand in hand to create a Providence that we can be proud of, a city that is forward-thinking, sustainable, and inclusive. Together we can build a brighter future for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And lastly, but not least, I want to call up to the podium Michael Gazdacko, the chair of our City Planning Commission, who is constantly working on the other side of our comprehensive plan, which was last updated in 2014. And Michael knows firsthand the immense value this document has in ensuring sustainable growth. Michael?
Thank you. The comprehensive plan is the guide for the city in all areas of growth and development. It is the basis of the zoning ordinance and informs all decisions that the commission makes. The plan needs to find the right balance between accommodating growth while preserving the city's incredible character and quality of life. Central to the plan are policies addressing how we use our land and the interaction between land use, transportation, economic development, housing, sustainability, and many other aspects of growth and development. As we face an unprecedented housing crisis, it will be especially critical to shape the plan's policies to enable more housing at all levels of affordability. We look forward to hearing from all stakeholders during the process and formulating this plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and all of our speakers. We will now open the floor to questions.
Mayor, why you don't have the Latinos and Black politicians supporting this today here?
So the entire City Council is supporting this process, and as you know, we've got the most diverse city council and city history right now, and they will be actively involved in the neighborhood meetings in each one of their wards. And there are no shortage of diverse leaders in our administration. The speakers you see today are here because of their jobs. Our Economic Development Director, our Planning and Development Director, and the Chairperson of our City Plan Commission. But our meetings will be facilitated and accessible to multilingual speakers. The Planning Department will be prepared to both solicit and receive feedback in languages beyond English, and we're confident that we can, in a competent way, engage with every community in Providence in the year ahead.
You mentioned every community, so how are you getting the word out to those who are unsheltered in Providence?
So there's going to be no shortage of tactics, and maybe Joe can expand, but we recognize that particularly post-pandemic that people engage in public processes a little bit different. I think it's actually a little bit easier. In addition to, I mean, this is the start of a year-long process of multiple in-person meetings. We also will have representation, and actually did last year as well through the Planning Department, at community fairs, community resource fairs, major public events, to make sure that anyone, whether they're enjoying a parade or at a health fair, in a church, that they will know some of the ways in which to engage in this process. And then we're going to be availing ourselves of online tools as well. We certainly learned through the pandemic, the city council experienced it, I experienced it through neighborhood associations and such, that in many cases for some people it's easier to engage in an online meeting than it is an in-person meeting because of either concerns around childcare or scheduling or work shifts and the rest. So we will be doing both in-person and online engagement, and will be proactive in the community, not just waiting for people to come to us, but going to them to make sure that they're made aware of this process.
Would that include going to like encampments or homeless shelters?
I'm sure that we will engage those who are sheltered to make sure that they know where the meetings are and how they can engage. As you well know, the encampment situation remains fluid, so it's unlikely that we'll be posting notices at temporary facilities like that. But some of our larger shelters and transitional housing, and certainly permanent supportive housing that many of our community partners run, they'll be actively engaged in the process.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mulligan mentioned acknowledging what hasn't worked in the past. Can you give some examples of that? Hasn't worked?
Well, I think some of the concerns may be indicative around housing starts, and there's been a paucity over the last several years, or a limited amount, and we'd like to find ways to make that process more streamlined as well, through the new leadership in the administration and department heads, as well as finding opportunities to incentivize new housing starts and development as well.
Is that for the Superman building?
I'll let the mayor.
I'm outspoken in the fact that I would like to see that construction start on that building. That has the potential to provide homes for upwards of 400 residents in Providence, including an affordable component, and one of the first and hopefully best examples of integrated inclusionary zoning, where there's both affordable housing next to market rate housing in the same building. Questions like this are some of the questions that will be addressed in this plan. We really encourage people to come and have their voices heard about, as Director Mulligan was referencing, the question of density. How many housing units should be allowed on what size parcel? How big do lot lines need to be? How do we facilitate the addition of things that refer to as accessory dwelling units, ADUs, granny flats, in-law apartments, all the same way to talk about the same issue? How do we support? It is just a fact that more people are living here than used to live here. The question is, how do we accommodate that? And how do we accommodate in a way that maintains the integrity and character of our neighborhoods and the things that make Providence special, but also facilitate that growth in a way that's equitable, that addresses the affordability issue, and keeps Providence the special place that we want it to be. These are the questions that we're asking. We're not providing all the answers. We want to hear from the residents and neighbors in the city of Providence to hear their thoughts before we package a final plan, which then goes to the city council, to the city plan commission, and then to the city council. And so these are the kind of questions that we ask. The other thing that I would comment on, when the comprehensive plan was last looked at, the economy was very different. And I don't know that it was wrong, but it has turned out, particularly accelerated by the pandemic, that a lot more people are working remote or in a hybrid environment. The use for commercial space, commercial office space has changed dramatically over the last decade. And so this is our opportunity to think differently about the economy of the next decade. And how do we both support it so that there are good jobs in Providence, but also thinking about people who work in different environments than they used to work at. These are the kind of questions that we'll be asking and helping facilitate a conversation with residents, business owners, and others to hear their feedback and then to be finalized by the planning department, vetted by the City Plan Commission, approved by the City Council, and so those are the really kind of exciting things that get to be addressed in this process.
Good? All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.